In the peaceful kingdom of Obodo Oma, there was a wise old king named Ebuka who had ruled for many years. King Ebuka was once a powerful ruler, known for his kindness and wisdom. His people loved him deeply. But now the king was very old and his health was failing. He could no longer attend meetings or make decisions without help from his council. His voice, once strong and steady, was now faint, and his eyes, once bright, were clouded with age. King Ebuka's one hope for the future was his only son, Prince Tochi. Tochi was a brave young man, admired for his wisdom, strength, and kindness. He had broad shoulders, a warm smile, and was respected by all. His eyes sparkled just like the king's had in his youth. Everyone in Obodo Oma knew that Tochi would make a wise and good king. With each passing day, King Ebuka grew weaker and his awareness began to slip away. The council of elders did their best to handle the kingdom's affairs in his absence. However, without the strong guidance of the kingdom began to slip into disorder. The council of elders then advised Tochi to hasten his plan to marry Princess Amara, the daughter of the late king of the nearby kingdom of Umu-Udo. This marriage would allow him to take over as king without delay when the time was right. Tochi agreed willingly. The royal marriage was meant to unite the two kingdoms and strengthen their bond, bringing peace and security. Amara's brother, the king of Umu-Udo, made sure everything was in place, welcoming Tochi and his people in grand style. The wedding was a grand affair. Traditional dancers performed, dressed in vibrant wrappers and head ties. The palace was decorated with beautiful masks and carved statues of their ancestors. As musicians played songs on their ojin bells and udu drums, Prince Tochi and his people left Umu-Udo with their new wife, Amara, to join the welcome ceremony already happening in Obodo Oma, where the villagers awaited their future queen. It was truly a day of celebration for both kingdoms. The day after the marriage ceremony, in the early hours of the morning, Tochi went for his usual walk alone to the river, where he often prayed for his father's health and also to pray for a successful marriage. But that day, Tochi didn't come back. Hours passed and everyone began to worry. Where was their prince? Guards were sent out to search for him, and some villagers joined in, combing the forests and riversides. There were no witnesses to explain what had happened, as the villagers knew better than to go near the secret path leading to the river, a path meant only for royals. They searched and searched, but there was no sign of Tochi. The royal family was devastated. Amara couldn't believe what was happening. Where had her husband gone? A day later, a shocking discovery was made. Near the river, someone found a piece of Tochi's royal necklace lying on the ground. Close by was his white royal wrapper, torn and stained with blood. The news spread through Obodo Oma like wildfire. Mothers hugged their children close and fathers shook their heads in sorrow. People gathered, whispering in hushed tones, trying to understand what had happened to their beloved prince. The council members met in secret, trying to make sense of it all, but no one had any answers. Could Tochi have been attacked by wild animals? Or was there something more mysterious and dangerous at work? The villagers were heartbroken. Some believed that Tochi was gone forever, but others hoped he was alive somewhere, waiting to be rescued. Rumors began to swirl like a storm. Some people suspected that someone from Umu-Udo, the kingdom of Princess Amara, might have caused the prince's disappearance. But why would they wait until after the royal marriage? Others even whispered, with fear in their eyes, that Princess Amara herself might be involved. Soon more and more people began to believe these whispers, and fear filled the hearts of everyone in Obodo Oma. The once happy kingdom was now full of doubt and sadness. With their old king too weak to lead and their crowned prince missing, the kingdom was at the mercy of whatever came next. Amara sat in the prince's chamber, crying like a widow who had just lost her husband. Princess Hada, Tochi's elder sister, tried to console her, though she too was silently weeping. Suddenly, a maid entered and informed Amara that the council of elders had summoned her. Finally, Amara thought, someone is ready to tell me exactly what's going on. She wiped her tears and followed the maid outside. As Amara was led to the council hall, she noticed an unusual tension in the air. People stood in small groups, whispering and casting suspicious glances her way. She could feel the weight of their stares and it made her heart pound. The village was eerily quiet. Entering the council hall, Amara saw the walls decorated with symbols and paintings that told the history of Obodo Oma. The council members sat in their attire, their expressions grave and unwelcoming. Some wore red caps symbolizing their high ranks, while others held finely carved walking sticks, signs of their age and wisdom. Standing before them, Amara felt confused and a little afraid. She bowed respectfully and greeted the elders, but before she could speak, one elder spoke, his voice heavy with sorrow and anger. "Princess Amara, as you know, something terrible has happened in our kingdom," he began. "Our dear Prince Tochi has disappeared, and as we all know, his necklace and his wrapper was found torn and stained with blood, near the river." Fresh tears filled Amara's eyes and she bit her lip, dreading what might come next. Had they found Tochi, or was he truly gone forever? Her heart sank as she thought of him. How could all of this be happening so quickly? Just days ago, everyone was happy and celebrating. Then another elder stepped forward with more troubling news. "This morning, farmers were attacked on their way back from the farm," he said. The council members looked at Amara with suspicion and murmurs filled the room. Suddenly, an elder pointed his hand at her, his voice shaking with accusation. "You brought this upon us," he cried. "Immediately after Prince Tochi married you, strange things started happening in our land. Our crowned prince is missing, crops are failing, animals are restless, and now, our innocent people are being attacked." Other villagers and elders joined in, their voices growing louder, fingers pointed accusingly at her. Amara felt a wave of fear and shock wash over her. She shook her head, her voice pleading. "I would never harm Prince Tochi or anyone from this kingdom. I love him and I would never wish harm upon Obodo Oma," she said, her words filled with pain. But her words seemed to fall on deaf ears. The council members exchanged glances, their faces stern and unmoved. To them it all felt too coincidental. How could so many strange things happen right after the wedding? After a long pause, one council member, a wise elder named Motsi Orha, lifted his walking stick and spoke. His voice was calm but heavy. "Princess Amara, we must protect our kingdom. Until we know the truth, you shall be locked in your room. You are not allowed to leave your room or this palace, and you are not to interact with anyone. You will be served meals under the watch of guards," he declared. Amara's heart sank. She felt tears prickling at her eyes, but she blinked them away, determined to stay strong. She was led away by guards. As she looked around, her mind raced with thoughts of Tochi, hoping he would appear to clear her name. In her room, she sat down on a wooden stool, her hands trembling. She thought of her home in Udo, her family, and most of all Tochi. How could this happen? Why would the people she hoped to call her own think she could bring them harm? As the door closed behind her, leaving her alone in the dim room, Amara made a promise to herself. She would find out what happened to Prince Tochi and clear her name no matter what. She whispered a prayer to the gods of her people, asking for strength and guidance. For the first time she truly felt alone, clinging only to the hope that her innocence would soon be proven. Days passed, but Amara lost track of time. She wondered if her family back in Udo knew what had happened or if anyone was trying to help her. The people of Obodo Oma, once friendly and warm, had turned cold, their voices now only angry whispers against her. One night, as Amara sat quietly in the dim room with moonlight casting a faint glow through her small window, the door opened slowly. Amara turned to see Hada, Prince Tochi's elder sister, standing in the shadows near the doorway. Amara whispered, her heart pounding, "What are you doing here? You might get into trouble if they see you." "Do not worry for me," Hada said. "I am the daughter of Obodo Oma. I will speak to the people and calm their anger. If word reaches your family in Udo, there will be war. I cannot let more blood be spilled over this." Amara nodded, her heart pounding with hope. "What can I do?" Hada took a deep breath, glancing around to make sure they were alone. "Tonight I will help you escape. You must go back to Udo and try to clear your name. But remember, we want peace, not war. If your family thinks you were wrongly imprisoned, they might retaliate. You must stop them." With Hada's help, Amara slipped through the back pathways of the palace grounds, crouching low under the cover of night. Hada's 2 loyal guards moved beside her, silently leading her through the forest. The air was thick with the scent of damp leaves, and she felt her heart racing, both with fear and the hope of freedom. The journey back to Udo was long and filled with tension. Each time they heard a sound, Amara and the guards would pause, hiding behind thick trees or large rocks. Finally, as dawn broke, they arrived in Udo, and the guards left her to continue on her own while they returned to Obodo Oma. The sunlight cast a golden glow over the village as Amara walked quickly toward the palace. She knew her brother, King Osita, would be surprised and worried seeing her like this. But when she entered the royal compound, she was greeted with anger. King Osita was already planning a visit to Obodo Oma. Word had reached him last night about Tochi's disappearance and his sister's imprisonment. His warriors stood by him holding long spears and shields ready for a fight. "How dare they treat you like this, Amara?" he thundered. "Obodo Oma thinks they can insult us this way, but they are wrong. I will not rest until they pay for this. If they want war, we will give it to them." She stepped forward, holding up her hands. "Brother, please listen to me," she said, her voice steady but pleading. "We must not rush into war. They are afraid because Tochi has disappeared. We would feel the same if one of us went missing. But they locked you away without proof and treated you like a criminal." Osita shouted, still angry. "How can I sit back and do nothing?" Amara placed her hand on his. "War will only bring more pain to both our lands. Many people will suffer and innocent lives will be lost. If we go to war, peace will be lost forever." She looked up, her eyes filled with determination. "I really need to find out what happened to my husband and prove my innocence. This is not just for me, but for the peace of both our kingdoms." Osita looked at her, his face full of worry. "Amara, the kingdom needs you here. You can't risk your life like this. What if something happens to you too?" But Amara shook her head. "I understand, Osita, but I can't just stay here and wait. I have to at least try to find him. Please let me go with some guards. We might find clues or learn what really happened. I need to know." He could see how determined she was. He sighed, finally nodding. "Okay, I'll send my best guards with you. Just promise me you'll be careful," he said, though anger still lingered in his eyes. "But if anything happens to you, I will not hold back." With her brother's reluctant blessing, Amara nodded, feeling grateful. She quickly gathered a few loyal guards and they prepared for the journey. They packed food, water, and blankets ready to travel for as long as it took. As they set off into the forest, Amara felt a mixture of hope and fear. The trees grew tall around them, birds chirped, and the wind whistled through the leaves. She felt nervous, but her love for Tochi kept her moving forward. Meanwhile, in the kingdom of Obodo Oma, King Ebuka had passed away and sadness filled the kingdom. The villagers wore dark clothes, and tears were everywhere as they came together to honor their beloved king with special burial rites. They held a big ceremony to say goodbye. But in the days that followed, a heavy cloud of uncertainty hung over the kingdom. Who would lead them now that their king was gone? They remembered his kind heart and wise rule, and without him, they felt lost and confused. Prince Tochi had been gone for so long, and many feared he might never return. The answer seemed to be Prince Hoser, Tochi's cousin and the only child of King Ibuka's brother. But Hoser was not like Tochi. He had always been jealous of his cousin and secretly wanted the throne for himself. Rumors spread that Hoser was cruel and lacked the kind heart Tochi had. Yet with Tochi gone, Hoser was set to become their new king. As the day of Hoser's coronation approached, he tried to win over the people. "Fear not, my people," Hoser declared in a loud voice. "I will lead you to greatness and honor Prince Tochi's memory." But the villagers sensed something dark within Hoser, and unease spread through the crowd. Then, on the very day of his coronation, something strange happened. Hoser fell terribly ill. He shivered with cold even as his body burned with fever. None of the healers could explain his illness, and they grew more puzzled as he worsened. What could have caused this? One old healer wondered aloud. Perhaps the gods are punishing him for his sins. The villagers whispered in agreement, thinking maybe this was a sign. Some even thought Hoser was cursed, a fitting punishment for a man they suspected of harboring dark intentions against his cousin. With Hoser lying helpless in his bed, the villagers became restless. "If Hoser cannot rule, then who will lead us?" they asked. They began to talk of finding someone better to be their leader. Princess Hada, Tochi's elder sister, soon became the center of attention. She was brave, kind, and loved by everyone. According to tradition, she was next in line to rule and could take the throne as queen. But to rule, she would need to get married. Days turned into weeks, and Hoser's condition only got worse. He began to mutter about shadows in his room, shouting, "They are watching me." His eyes were wide with fear, and he grew more unsteady each day. The palace guards exchanged worried glances, unsure of how to handle their unstable prince. The council of elders gathered, discussing how to save their kingdom. "If Hoser is unfit to rule, then we must act," one elder declared. "Hada should take her place as queen, for the future of Obodo Oma depends on her." "She needs a strong husband," another elder added. "He must be wise and good to help her lead the people." But as long as Hoser remained a threat, they worried about who would step forward to marry her. Hada felt the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. She knew this was her moment to step up, and she had to be brave. If she was to lead her people, she would need a strong partner who could help her. So when the council of elders brought her a marriage proposal from the rich and powerful prince of Umu Oma, a nearby village, Hada saw it as a chance to secure her place on the throne and rule wisely. Marrying him could make her a strong queen, or so she thought. Still searching, Princess Amara refused to give up. She traveled through villages and forests, her heart heavy with worry for her husband Tochi. She had searched for weeks, yet she remained determined. Her loyal guards walked beside her, ready to protect their queen, though they too were weary. As she journeyed, memories of Tochi filled her mind. She thought of the first time they met at the harvest festival in her kingdom. She had been just a young girl then, yet Tochi's gentle smile and kind eyes made her feel like the only person in the world. Over the years they met again and again, their friendship growing until it blossomed into love. Amara's heart ached as she recalled their laughter, their promises, and the quiet moments they shared. She remembered the day he promised her forever, under the shade of a majestic iroko tree, and how the two kingdoms had gathered to celebrate their union with joy and hope for the future. How am I supposed to move on without my husband? She wondered, feeling that life held no future for her without him. She searched for Tochi everywhere, asking every villager's, traveler, and wise elder she encountered, describing him as best she could. Some villagers shook their heads in sorrow, while others shared faint rumors. Amara clung to each bit of information, hoping one would lead her to him. As the sun set after another tiring day, Amara returned to Umu Udo Osita, relieved to see her back home safe, informed her of King Ibuka's demise. With a concerned expression, he added, I also heard that Prince User fell mysteriously ill a day before his coronation. Some say his illness is somehow connected to Tochi's disappearance. Amara's mind raced. Could this illness be linked to Tochi's absence? She had heard whispers about strange happenings in Obodo Oma, but nothing concrete. I must go back to Obodo Oma, Amara said firmly. I can't stay away from my home forever. I might even find answers there. Osita's gaze turned stern. No, Amara. You dare not. It's not safe for you to go. There are those who wish you harm who may not welcome your presence. Amara's heart cried out, torn between her desire to continue the search and her brother's words of caution. She knew he spoke out of love, but it hurt to stay away from the one place that might give her hope. With a heavy heart, Amara agreed. For now, she would wait, sending trusted messengers to investigate for her. But she couldn't shake the feeling that something was pulling her toward Obodo Oma. Her strength finally crumbling, she collapsed into her brother's arms, her body trembling as she sobbed. Let go, Amara, he whispered gently, stroking her hair. You need to accept that Tochi might be gone. He may not come back. Amara's cries grew louder, her whole being shaking with grief. The thought of life without Tochi was unbearable. I know it hurts, Osita continued softly, but you are young, and there is still so much life ahead of you. I'll be here helping you every step of the way. Amara's sobs began to quiet as her brother's words sank in. She knew he spoke the truth, yet her heart resisted, holding tightly to the love she had shared with Tochi. I'll help you through this pain, Amara, Osita promised, his voice full of love. Together we will find a way for you to heal. As the night deepened, Amara settled in for the night, grateful for her brother's comfort. Yet her heart silently whispered Tochi's name, hoping he would somehow hear her. The sun shone brightly over Obodo Oma as the people gathered to witness the grand marriage ceremony of their future queen. Just when the event was about to begin, Obi Hada's lover rushed into the palace. He had just returned from visiting his grandmother in a distant village and had heard that Hada was about to marry another man. His heart burned with betrayal, not only sadness but also anger. His face filled with fury as he shouted, Hada! His voice echoed, startling everyone. The crowd's excitement faded into confusion as they turned to look at the man who dared to call their future queen by her name. You think you can just marry another man and forget everything we planned? He demanded. Hada's heart sank at his words. Obi, please. This is not the time, she urged, trying to regain control. You need to leave. As the guards tried to drag him out, Obi refused to back down, and the council of elders intervened, allowing him to speak. Hada, you are heartless. You promised we would rule together. Obi shouted, his voice trembling with emotion. You convinced me to help you kill Prince Tochi. You paid men to attack the villagers so Princess Amara would be blamed for it and sent out of the palace. We even visited that powerful medicine man to make Hoser sick so you could take the throne. And after all I sacrificed for you, you dare betray me like this?" The crowd gasped, the air heavy with shock. Guests exchanged wide-eyed glances, while the villagers looked at one another, unable to comprehend the revelation. Hadda's dreams of power were crumbling before her, and the truth was now out in the open. "Obi, stop being dramatic. I was going to compensate you anyway," Ada sneered. "I saw an opportunity to become queen and I took it. What made you think the people of Obodo Oma would accept you, a commoner's son, as their king? They almost didn't accept me as queen, even with royal blood running through my veins." Her words only angered the crowd further. The prince of Umo Oma stormed out of the palace with his people, silently thanking their gods for saving them from a terrible mistake. "I did what I had to do," Hadda shouted, her hands shaking with anger and fear. "I should be the one to rule. I am King Ibuka's first child. I deserve the throne. But even after all I did for this village, you all saw me as weak just because I am not a man." The people whispered among themselves, filled with sorrow and anger. They couldn't believe someone they had trusted so deeply could betray them in such a cruel way. Who could have imagined that the kind and gentle Princess Hadda was wicked enough to kill her own brother? Just when it seemed all was lost, a miracle happened. To everyone's shock, Prince Tochi, who they thought was dead, walked into the palace alive and well with Princess Amara by his side. The palace erupted into chaos as people shouted in disbelief. Hadda and Obi, held by the royal guards, froze in shock at the sight of Tochi, whom they believed they had killed after stabbing him twice. What they didn't know was that Prince Hoser had known about their evil plan all along. But for his own selfish reasons he had let Hadda and Obi carry out their wicked plot. As soon as they left Tochi for dead, Hoser's hidden men, waiting in the forest, rescued him. Instead of taking him back to the palace, he had Tochi held hostage while he recovered, seeing this as an opportunity to seize the throne and to use Tochi against Hadda if she threatened his rule. As Tochi recovered in secret, Hoser's plan began to crumble. After falling mysteriously ill, his men struggled to care for Tochi. Desperate and fearful, they sought help from Umu Udo, where Amara's brother ruled. Osita took Tochi in, and with Amara's care he slowly regained his strength. Once healed, Tochi was ready to reclaim his throne. As they heard what happened, the people cheered with joy. Hadda and Obi were led away and locked up. The villagers, though long aware of Hoser's wickedness, felt grateful he had saved Tochi's life that fateful night. Without his intervention, Tochi would surely have died, and the kingdom would have lost their true leader. After being treated with the right medicine, Hoser's sickness transferred to Hadda as a repercussion for using dark charms against a royal. She was bedridden, without a cure, while Obi awaits trial. The people would decide his fate, death or life imprisonment, after the coronation. A humbled and repentant Hoser apologized. Prince Tochi, though hurt by his cousin's selfish actions, chose to forgive him. "You may have wanted the throne, Hoser, but you saved my life. For that I forgive you," he said. "But know this, our people come first and there will be no more betrayal." With peace restored and Hadda's wickedness exposed, a date was set for the coronation. The two kingdoms united in celebration, marking the start of a new era of peace and unity. As the sun set on this joyful day, King Tochi and Queen Amara stood hand in hand before their people, ready to lead with the wisdom they had gained. Together they vowed to bring prosperity to their kingdom, knowing that no darkness could overcome the light of truth and love. And so the people of Obodo Oma rejoiced, ready to embrace a future filled with hope, guided by the strength and unity of their beloved prince and princess. This story reminds us that those who seek power through dishonesty will face the consequences. Just like Hatta's desire for power drove her to harm those closest to her, thinking she could deceive everyone and still become queen. But her wicked and selfish actions were exposed, leaving her sick and in regret for the rest of her life. The pursuit of power through deceit is short-lived, while genuine leadership, rooted in integrity, brings lasting peace and respect. Thank you for watching this amazing video. I hope you enjoyed watching as much as I enjoyed creating it. Please subscribe, like, share and comment on the lessons you have learned and let me know where you are watching from. See you in my next video. Bye.